I'm Seven,
And I'm the chairman.
and we have a dual comm of the FX Open 2. Terran is actually going to be Super Prime, going to be a Protoss, and Legendary Select. So this is the first out of two games, I think it was, and here it is. Select's asking Super if he plays in the Korean server, if he's Lona's friend. Just checking up a little bit. So, Chan, what do you think? What's your prediction for this game?
Um, I don't know. I think they're both pretty evenly matched, but I might be going over a bit on the Super Prime's way, thinking he might win. But I don't know. At the end, it'll decide upon each person's abilities to carry out their own strategies and their own ways of using their units.
I feel like Select will win mainly because messing up the supply table, they're not finishing it. That Super Prime, I don't really know who Super Prime is. Do you? Do you know?
No.
No, you don't know who Super Prime is. I haven't heard of them either. But anyway, I feel I haven't watched the FX Open unfortunately, so I guess you could say I haven't seen any replays, and I don't know who'll win. Honestly, I feel Select will win mainly because of the close distances, relatively close. Sure, it's not close land as across from each other, but it's not cross positions, and I feel cross positions, Protoss will have an upper advantage because they can just really make their death ball and basically rape anything Terran has. Select going up for a 13-ish gas.
And also note that with these spawns, the Terran can easily use the close air distance to their advantage for harassment and drops, and that can be turn out to be a very hard thing for the Protoss to deal with eventually.
So it seems everything's going pretty standard for both players. No proxies, no cheese. And not much going up. Putting a supply depot up in front to help narrow that choke point.
And right now, the Cybernetics core halfway done. The Zealot's gonna be coming out soon. And right now, the Tech Lab being added onto the barracks.
Now I might be wrong, but it does look a little bit like a one racks expand. Depending on what his next unit is, it could be early one racks pressure. And let's see how well Super holds this off. Scouting SUV, finally finding out where Super is. I'm not a very good Protoss player, but is not having a second gas standard, or is that a little bit unusual?
Normally, Protoss player will have their gas, a second gas around 18.
What kind
So,
of builds does this mean he could be going if he doesn't have his gas this early, yet? Second gas yet?
I don't know. I'm not that much of a pro, so yeah, I don't really focus on my timing that much now. But eventually, I might start studying a bit more.
And it looks like he's not focusing all too much on warp gates. It might be. Oh, hold on. He's probably gonna make something, but it does look a little bit like a one gate expand. Is it? No,
No,
no, it's not.
so yeah, probably same as
For,
Chrono Boost for his warp gates, probably.
no, but he wasn't warp gating. He still has a ton of chrono boost.
Yeah,
Getting a second guess now, I'm not
well,
really sure
yeah.
what's up yet. And we're back to Select's base. Getting a reactor and a tech lab. Yeah, it was one rack's pressure. Having two Marauders, a Marine, and that SCV, helping to tank some damage, concussive shells. Hopefully staying away from the edge, not taking too much damage.
And the Sentry is about to get finished. If he can throw down some force fields just to split up his army.
Oh, nice timing there. Warp gate
Yeah.
finishing right when that sending finishes. And force fielding, those units can't escape at all. Having some casualties Select, basically not doing any damage with that push at all. Getting a bunker up and a reactor. And a tech lab and a factory. Maybe going for some medevacs?
So yeah, Select right now can really get some medevacs in, start taking advantage of
And
the
there it
closed
is, that
airspace.
expansion.
Stim pack going down.
So it seems like both players are getting a relatively fast expansion. Selects is going to be quite earlier, as it's already done, just morphing into an orbital command. Getting a factory up probably most likely it's gonna be medevacs, as adding those 3 barracks and getting marauders out doesn't seem very much for marine tank.
And right over here, I think Prime is gonna try to get a proxy in there and try to put on some pressure on the Terran as well.
If he does put on pressure, do you think it'll work out? I mean, Select does have a bunker. There is a proxy going down,
Yeah.
and he does have, not very units, but that bunker will really prove some worth.
Yeah, but then
Oh, they're just getting that starport and a reactor. Probably gonna be dropping, or maybe just getting out some medevacs.
I don't know. Those Marauders can be quite a nuisance to a Protoss player, especially against those Stalkers. So might be a close call right here.
And I'm not sure. I heard somewhere that Koreans player like to get their stim out early, while Europeans player like to get their medevacs early. And there was a game earlier. I don't remember. I think it was somewhere, the DreamHack tournament, where we saw. Forgot his name, but one of the final Terran players getting an early stim and an early medevacs.
I believe it was Bomber. Was it?
Yes, StarTail Bomber. Very good player. And not taking that command center, knows those forces are out. If he takes that command center out with such the units he has, he can actually maybe, depending on how well SuperPrime handles
look right
the situation.
here, and Prime throwing down a Robo and a Stargate right now.
So can maybe be going for some, maybe some Phoenix for scouting or Void Rays.
And starting to get Robo Bay for Colossi production.
The supply count is very even. Select adding 2 more barracks just to compensate for his going to be influx. Oh, dropping down the units on the low ground so that force field doesn't do as much, and destroying SuperPrime's forces outside of Select space, enabling him to secure his natural. So it does seem Select now, because of that little engagement, he is ahead in the food count. Proxy pylon could be used for some counterattacks, but most likely not, as Select does have a pretty big ball of Marines and Marauders just marching over to SuperPrime's base and not taking the probes back. So they're not in any damage if Select does decide to go for the natural.
But right now the Void Ray is just about finishing up and Colossi just starting to get produced. Gonna want to chrono boost it out as fast as he can, and then should be warping in some units.
Stimming up, sniping the pylon, and gonna be sniping down the Nexus. SuperPrime is in the red, and it doesn't look very good for him. The Nexus is going to fall. A very measly small units of Zealots and Sentries. If he force fields this pretty well, hopefully if his Void Ray comes out, there is a Void Ray, but Select,
right there,
Select dropping the units on the high ground, nullifying that force field. It does seem though Select will be able to just handle this off very easily. SuperPrime pulling off probes. That Void Ray will go down. It probably and it goes down. Colossus out.
Colossi! Oh no!
Just rallying and not attacking at all.
Just a massacre right now.
And Terran, SuperPrime GG's, and that's the game.
So yeah, I guess my prediction was wrong right here.
Yeah, you were wrong and I was right. So we're going to be going on to Game 2 of Select versus SuperPrime from the old FXO tournament.